Testing. Testing. Does this sound better?
Is this what you want? Does this sound better for you? Yeah. What's up? You ready for this? Let's do it. Let's get into the House of Contempt. Let's do it.
One of the painful truths of comedy. You always take shots from folks who just don't get the joke.
I'll hold you in contempt. I hold myself in contempt.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of the House of Contempt. I'm your host, Daemon Michael. Thank you for joining us again. It is a pleasure to be back. We had a bit of a break for the last month, kind of after Halloween. We had Thanksgiving. We had a lot of shit going on. So, but we're back. We are back. We have a lot to catch up on, talk about. I didn't get a Halloween episode out. The truth is, I recorded an episode, I think, the day after Halloween, but I never, but I was really stuffed up. Every other word, I was sniffling and shit, so yeah, I'm just recording it. Funny enough, I got a huge ear infection right now. Nothing that hurts, which is the weird part. I just can't hear out of one side of my head, and I'm getting all dizzy and shit, so just work with me here. It's been a long month. I fucking hate November. I think after this year, November will officially be my least favorite holiday, or my least favorite month, because of the shitty ass holiday. I'm not a fan of Thanksgiving. I don't know how to celebrate it. It's just a meal. You know what I mean? It's just a meal that you go. I mean, I cook every fucking night. You know, I can have a turkey dinner tonight. There's nothing that's stopping me from having a turkey dinner tonight. So I don't like Thanksgiving because you have dinner with the family. You can go have dinner with your family on a day that's not Thanksgiving, right? That's what bugs me so much about this holiday is there's no real, like, Halloween. It's a little weird for someone to go out and dress up in a costume and ask for candy any other fucking day of the year, you know? But you can eat dinner. You can eat a turkey dinner any day. You don't need to celebrate a holiday for that. And even like Christmas, like, I get it. There's a gift exchange, okay? It's a little weird if you just buy someone a gift, you know what I mean? Randomly. I mean, it's a nice thing to do, but it's a little weird, like Merry Christmas or something like that. Yeah, like there's a designated time. There's a designated tradition associated with that holiday. Whereas November, you just eat. It bugs me. Like with Halloween, you have all month. You have horror movies. You have corn mazes. You have, decorating pumpkins. You have all this kind of shit to celebrate, and you cap it off with, trick or treating. Even Christmas, you got Christmas movies, light decorating, tree decorating, baking, Christmas cookies, all that kind of stuff. Making treats, wrapping presents. You have a whole month of stuff to put into a holiday. You don't have that with Thanksgiving. There's not Thanksgiving movies. There's not like a Thanksgiving tree you decorate or anything like that. And that bugs. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. I wanted to. I would have liked to go hunting this year because I feel like that's a pretty decent way to celebrate. Is like. Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, looking past all, like, whatever stigma that the holiday has in some of the more liberal groups, ignore that for a minute. I mean, if you think about it, Thanksgiving, it was the story of it, as far as, I was told, was that there was a dinner, acknowledging the unification of the settlers and the natives, and we gave thanks to the natives for teaching us how to settle this land, because, I mean, the settlers were they were too fucking stupid to put a seed in the dirt, you know what I mean? Fucking dumbasses. But the whole holiday is to thank Native Americans for the sentiment, anyway, is that we thank Native Americans for getting us through that first Thanksgiving, or something to that effect. Of course, that's been co-opted by other narratives and stuff lately, but I like that. I like that this month you can do a man versus wild kind of thing, like man versus nature. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about. It's about humans and mankind overcoming the elements and coming together to fuck nature in the ass. So I think if you wanted to get into like a theme for November, it's man versus nature. I think go out, kill something, cut a tree down, spit on a squirrel or something like that, and just be like, fuck you, nature. I win. All right? This is 2 million years of fucking advanced evolution. Ah! I don't know. I don't know how long humans have been around. 10 million years. I don't know. But man versus nature. Go out and fucking punch a bird or something like that. You know what I mean? Fuck nature. You know, just go strangle a turkey with your bare fucking hands. Watch the life drain from its eyes. Slap that bitch on the fucking table and start carving that bitch up. That's what this month's about. Okay? But, you know, make it your own. You know, there's family and stuff too. I get that too. But, you know, I think man versus nature is a lot more of a more fun theme to have than dinner with family, just in my opinion. But yeah, we had Thanksgiving, Halloween. I went to see movies. I went to see the original Halloween with my friend on Halloween. It was pretty fun. Although, looking back, if you watch that first Thanksgiving movie, if you watch that first Halloween movie, it's super fucking slow. It's fucking, like, the first hour and a half, the first hour is him stalking and walking and staring at these girls, and then the last half hour when he actually starts stabbing people is when it picks up. But I remember watching that movie in high school, like, this is horrifying, I am so scared. And then I honestly was kind of laughing through a lot of the first part. Not as good as I remember, honestly. It was kind of, I was cracking jokes more than I thought I would. Yeah, we didn't really stick with the 31 days of horror like I was hoping. Kind of a hard feat to do every night, especially when you got comedy, all this other shit going on too, just normal Halloween shit. Being able to watch 31 movies consecutively is kind of rough. So we did what we could. We saw Rocky Horror Picture in the theaters. That was pretty fun. I've never been to that was the second time I ever saw it. I've never been to a showing of that. And if you know anything about Rocky Horror, it's like this big cult kind of midnight underground movie almost. Not really underground because it's pretty popular nowadays, but back in the day it was kind of an underground thing. And all these people would show up, and over time there just became like almost like a game you played while watching the movie. Like every time every time the main characters' names were called, like Janet, everyone would be like, slut! Or the guy's name, I can't remember it, but everyone would be like, asshole! And there was a part where the guy, he goes, great Scott! And everyone starts throwing toilet paper. And I look at my girlfriend and I'm like, I don't get this one. She's like, Scott, toilet paper. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking stupid. No, that was pretty fun. I've never, like, at one point I heard all these people talking through it, and I'm like, is this gonna be all fucking the whole movie? And then I realized it was kind of a game. I was like, oh, okay, weird. I've never been to a movie like that before, so I don't think it's gonna be the last time. I might actually go again next year because it was kind of fun to see everyone dressed up, and I just like to see this community do something fun that's not meth or drinking or gambling. So shout out to the Babcock Theater for letting us spend Halloween there. So, yeah. I guess we might as well get into album of the month, because I mean, shit, we're literally a fucking less than a week left in November here, and I feel bad I didn't get more episodes out this month. But I think in honor of Thanksgiving and dinner and eating and all that kind of shit, I think it would make sense to have Cannibal Corpse Eaten Back to Life as the House of Contempt album of the month for November. That's Eaten Back to Life by Cannibal Corpse. It's got a few good songs on there. I'm not a big fan of the Chris Barnes era, admittedly. More of a Corpse Grinder guy. But Skull Full of Maggots, one of my all-time favorite songs. I saw on YouTube, but I watched Cattle Decapitation and Cannibal Corpse do Skull Full of Maggots together, and since then, just been one of my all-time favorite Cannibal Corpse songs. Again, I'm not a big fan of Chris Barnes' whole ego or style or whatever you would have it, but the rest of that album is really fucking insane. So, go check out Eaten Back to Life by Cannibal Corpse for the last week of November. I am sorry that it wasn't an album of the month like I was hoping. We got a few things coming up for December. I'm going to try to do a lot of Christmas themed stuff. We're just going to try and do some Christmas stuff. I've been kind of taking a break from comedy, just a week or two, just to kind of get back in the swing of things and whatnot. I had a bit of a writer's block there for a minute. I had a show at the Red Door a couple weeks ago where is all new material at first. So I was doing all my new material. it was about murder. I was doing, the subject was kind of about murder, the murder, like true crime stuff, I should say, like murder documentaries and shit. And I was mixing in a few of my old jokes that related and worked. I was doing a joke that killed. Like it was an opener for the longest time because it was one of my best jokes. So I was doing my set with basically this new subject. I was trying to, just do a bit on murder and whatnot. Dead silence. I was like a black hole for sound in that room. All right. Absolutely zero laughter. Even people that would normally give me a pity laugh gave me nothing. And these are jokes that I know I've told before. All right. Like nothing got a laugh. And I was just dumbfounded. It was like I was anti-noise. I like sucked noise out of that room. It was the worst I've ever bombed. But about halfway through, I was like, well, let me try this out. And so I did my subject. I switched the subject up. I went from murder to sex. I started talking about sex and whatnot. And I killed. It was so fucking crazy. Everyone was dying. People were like, you really went there, didn't you? And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that people were fucking reacting after being that dead. It was the weirdest fucking set ever. And then find out the last comedian goes up. And I'm not saying this is a reason. I don't know. But the last comedian went up and you find the entire room goes crazy. And you find out he tells the audience, he's like, yeah, I brought a lot of people here tonight. And I look around and 80% of the room had come just to see this kid perform. So I don't like to blame an audience. In fact, when you're a comedian, it's never a good idea to blame an audience. Because that whatever I was doing just didn't work for that particular audience. And if you want to be a good comedian, you should find a way to make every kind of audience laugh, in my opinion. But so it's never a good idea to blame the audience. But that was a weird one, and I can't help but think they just weren't gonna laugh at anything you did, no matter what, because they weren't there to see you. A lot of people that go to these open mics for their friends, it's happened to me too, have been a little over supportive. I don't know, they're like, yeah, he's doing, like, if you do comedy, everyone immediately just thinks you're good at comedy because you're just doing it. No one's going to give you the, especially your friends, no one's going to give you the real feedback. So when you start doing comedy and people are coming out to your open mics and stuff, people are just there to support you and just be like, yeah, you did awesome. And they're just going to hype you up and shit like that because they know you and they're there to support you. It's not like, I'm not saying like it's all like insincere, but it's not where you want to be focusing your feedback from. I think I think until you start getting hate, just assume, like, until you get hate and criticism, just assume that you're doing bad. And then once you get hate and criticism, you can take a bit of a breather because then you got those people there to kind of keep you in check. I don't know. If I knew what to do when you got to that point, I wouldn't be fucking doing this podcast out of my fucking back room in my house. But it's important to kind of work with every audience. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to like you or the subject, you know, so you got to kind of find a way to get your roots in with everyone. You know what I mean? The art of comedy is finding something that everyone will enjoy. You know what I mean? To me anyway. People have their own kind of separate style and they want a certain niche audience. They're going for a niche audience where I just want to make everyone laugh. I want you to come to my show and laugh no matter what. Like, if you like Bo Burnham, I want there to be something in my show for you. You know what I mean? I don't sing, but I want my show to be enjoyable for you too. You know, just as much as I want, you know, the Joey Diaz or the Joe Rogan fans to like me too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta find your audience. You gotta find your baseline. So that's why I didn't really get too upset when I bombed that night, because it just means I just gotta work on stuff. But I'm not gonna lie, that threw my whole fucking equilibrium off. For literally up until about a couple days ago, I was having horrible writer's block because I got into this headspace like, oh, all my new shit's just bad. New shit is bad. Why should I write new shit? What's going on? Like, what's wrong with the way I write? You get into this, you fall into this fucking trap in your head when at least with me, when the new stuff didn't work, it made me afraid to try new stuff. And I fought it. I actively fought it. I was like, no, I need to be fucking writing. If you're not doing good, you need to go back even harder and fucking write. And so I kind of came back. You know, I'm back to writing new stuff. The writer's block's kind of dissipated and whatnot, but goddamn, that bomb, it stumbled me, man. It knocked me out. And kind of, I mean, with that too, you know, you're like, I'm not funny. You know, your creativity is feeling stifled, so you feel like you're not a good artist, and that gets you down. And it's just a whole kind of a mental funk you get in once you get a writer's block, and kind of a bomb like that. Especially, it's kind of good to bomb every now and then, in my opinion, because it just kind of checks you. You know, you don't want to be getting too inflated. You want to be checked every now and then and be like, you can still do better. You can still do better. Do better. Do better. Like, that's kind of what a bomb tells me, is like, do better. And in a way, it's kind of a good thing. You take that and you want to do something better. You don't want to bomb again, so you're trying to mold it into something better. So in a way, I do like bombs, especially if I feel like I haven't had one in a while, because it just keeps me grounded. But man, I don't know. The last month though, like I said, combined with the post-Halloween depression, as you would call it, and then writer's block, all this kind of shit, it's just kind of it really threw my whole fucking month off. So, not to make excuses, but that's kind of why you're not here. You haven't heard from me in a couple weeks. So, in some lighter and cooler news, I got to meet the legendary BERT KREISCHER, which was pretty cool. Nothing spectacular. I do the Metro setups and stuff like that, so I went and set up his stage, got the curtains, sound, lights, all that kind of shit up. I did sound, but I got to talk to this crew and everything like that, who are just fucking comedians themselves. They are hilariously nice guys. I don't know if it's just because I'm a fan of Bert's, or if it's because I've never set up a comedian before, but his crew were absolutely the nicest guys to work with and set up with, and very nice people. I really hope they come back. Whenever someone that doesn't normally comes through like Bert, I get very self-conscious about making sure that artist and that crew is having a good time and enjoying their time here in Montana, because I want them to return. You know what I mean? And I know that's not exactly how it works. You know, there's money involved in it and whatnot, but you got to associate this place with good memories if you want someone to come back. And unfortunately, he couldn't fly in. He was going to fly in that night, but he couldn't fly in because there was a blizzard. And so he couldn't fly from Florida to Billings, so he had to fly from Florida to Denver and then drive up from Denver into Billings, which is not a fun fucking drive in the middle of a blizzard in a fucking tour bus. So I felt bad. I was like, oh no, he's fucking getting a good taste of Montana fucking snow. So, but we set it up. I brought a bottle of mead with me to work, and I was just kind of looking around for like Bert's people, like his managers or something like that. And I was just like, hey, I have a bottle of wine here that I would like to give Bert. And they're like, well, are you trying to give it to him yourself? You know, because he's kind of out of the building right now. And like, I was like, well, I didn't want to come off like, you know, I'm only giving. If you're giving someone a gift just to meet them, then you're not giving them a gift. That's a fucking tool. You know what I mean? So, and all, I had to be honest with him, be like, well, you know, I mean, as long as he gets it, you know what I mean? In the back of my head, I was like, yeah, of course I want to fucking meet him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't give someone a gift second hand. At least, I don't know. That seems really cheap. Give someone a gift to give someone else so that person can watch them enjoying the reception of this gift, you know. So I handed it off to his manager. And he's like, this will go in his fridge with all the other stuff that's got to go to him. And I was like, okay. So I don't get to gift him something. I just give him something that someone else will gift to him. Okay. I felt I'm not gonna lie, I felt pretty bummed out. But, you know, like I said, like if you're giving a gift just to meet someone, then you're not really giving a gift. So I went on, I set it up, I went home, went throughout my day. I had to take down the stage too. So we got the stage taken down. I saw Bert walking through the halls. You know, I didn't even wave at him or try to get his attention or anything like that, because if you're an IATSE and you are trying to talk to the talent, that is a big no-no, and probably a good way to get kicked out, get fired. So did not speak to the talent until I clocked out. Then as soon as I clocked out, it's still very much frowned upon, but I didn't go looking for him, to be honest. I clocked out, and we were leaving. Me and Bert were basically leaving at the same time. He got on his bus. I walked past his bus, and I saw he was talking to someone outside his bus. And it's just me, the guy he's talking to, Bert, and Bert security. And I look around, and I'm like, this is kind of your only chance. And it's starting to snow again, so I go up. I wait for him to finish talking to the other guy, and I just introduce myself. I was like, hey, my name's Daemon. I'm the one that gave you the bottle of mead. I just wanted to make sure that you got it. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're the guy that gave me the bottle of mead. You're the comedian, right? And when he said that, it was pretty fucking cool. I'm not going to lie. To just hear your hero refer to you as a comedian. It was very cool. And I was like, yeah, that's me. But honestly, my main concern at the time was just making sure he got the bottle of mead, because I was kind of pissed that I had to give that off secondhand. I'm like, you got the mead though, right? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, good. I explained to him, I was like, I just wanted to give you something that's very Montana, so you remember Montana in a better way than just snow. And he's like, I appreciate it, man. That's really cool of you. I can't wait to drink it. And we shook hands and went on. I went home, and he went back on the bus. It was a very quick meetup, but he was super thankful. He had the most sincere air of thankfulness in his voice, and it was very nice to just know that even if he's kind of even if he's big and popular and he's got a bus and he's got shit to do, he's still gonna fucking sit out there in the fucking snow and thank you for coming out and everything like that. And that's just he's just a nice guy. If you are worried that BERT KREISCHER is a Hollywood douchebag, I will tell you for a fact that he is not. He did not Hollywood me at all. So thank you, The Machine, for giving me 5 seconds of your time that night. I really hope you enjoyed the mead. That's my favorite drink. If I drink to get drunk, that's what I drink. So thank you, BERT KREISCHER, for coming to Billings. We really hope to see you again soon. And Dave Williams and Shane Torres, you guys were fucking hilarious. Great openers. Just it was a great time. So we had the BERT KREISCHER show. That kind of came and went. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been a pretty boring. Like I said, we had Thanksgiving. It's November, so it's been a pretty boring ass fucking month. But my girlfriend had surgery this month too, so I've been kind of sitting at home taking care of her for a little bit. She was feeling better within like 2 or 3 days, though. It was just kind of it was minor elective surgery, and she cleared right. She's cleared right up. Her stitches or sutures are clearing up. If you know her, you know what surgery she had done. I'm not going to blast that on the internet, though. But she is so brave. She's a very brave woman for getting this kind of surgery done. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get fucking surgery done, or this kind of surgery. I just hate the idea of someone fucking fiddling around in my guts. You know what I mean? I can't. That makes me want to pass out. I watched House. And that shit would make me fucking nearly faint when the surgery parts would go on. I'm like, nope, I'm good. Thank you very much. No, thank you. So, yeah. So, really quick, I got a bit of cotton mouth here, so I'm gonna go take a quick break, and we will be right back. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by no one. If you would like to be a sponsor on this channel, send us your information at daemonmichael.comedy at gmail.com or follow the link in the description below. Also, whatever you need, man. Diet supplements, websites, boner pills, you name it and I'll sell it. That's how that works. That email again is daemonmichael.comedy at gmail.com. Now, let's get back to the show. And we're back. So, another thing that kind of somewhat new. I've been going to a new venue called the Decava Tea House, Tea House. It's where I used to work here in Billings. There used to be a Pickle Barrel on 32nd Street, and they went out of business. Can't imagine why. And these guys from Missoula came over. Bought it, and they opened up a tea house there, and every other Friday we do a comedy open mic there. Pretty cool. I've done it twice so far. It's an every other week ordeal, but they do all sorts of things. They do like they do a music open mic night. They do story night, I think. I gotta double check on that, but yeah, a lot of cool stuff from there too. I feel like Billings is kind of starting to come back from the pandemic a little bit. Like you're starting to see the growth of a scene. Because what was weird was when all these people started moving, like during the pandemic, you had a lot of people move here. Okay. And everything was just slow and shut down in general. And so nothing was really opening up. And there was a lot of people who were still just hesitant to go out and exist in the world. So everything was kind of shut down. And you had all these people moving here, and you didn't really see. You just saw more people, really, because Montana had a lot more lax COVID laws. It was further away from a large population, so people wanted to move out here during the pandemic. It was a big it was a big location. That in like Texas too, but you didn't really see a whole lot come from that. You just saw a lot more people. But I feel like with things kind of going back to normal a little bit, we are starting to see kind of the effects of a larger population. And I think, and I don't know what I started comedy there was a break in between the pandemics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we had that shutdown, there was a little break, then we had kind of the waves, and then everything just kind of came back. My first comedy open mic was after that first little break. I fell asleep, meant to go to a comedy open mic 2 weeks before that, and I fell asleep, missed the sign up, and I was like, well, shit, I guess I'll just go next week. And then next week, the world shut down. So I had a little extra time to prepare my jokes. But, and I'm glad I did, because I almost went up accidentally ripping off a Joe Rogan joke about how settlers just gave up halfway on their journey west. And they just stopped here, and that's why Montanans are just fat and lazy. Joe Rogan has a joke almost identical to that, so I'm kind of glad I didn't go up there with that. But I had a whole another 2 months or something like that to work on material, and I'm glad I did, because the material I went up with probably would have went over a lot better than the pre-pandemic stuff. So but back to what I was saying, I don't know what the scene necessarily looked like before the pandemic. I just know right now we're seeing a growth. We're seeing some new venues pop up. We're seeing there's movies starting to get filmed here. We had a comedy because thing a couple weeks ago. A couple comedians played for the Alberta Bear, sold out Alberta Bear Theater, which is really cool. So yeah, I feel like comedy is kind of coming back a little bit, with the help of, some out of towners. So hopefully we'll see more open mics and stuff like the Dakava House and whatnot. I always look at it like, as an open micer here in Billings, I do an open mic 2 or 3 times a week, if that. And a lot of comedians in bigger cities, they do it fucking 7 times a week. So I look at it as I got to work 50% fucking harder or 150%. I got to work nearly twice as fucking hard to get on that level. And sometimes I feel it. I feel that lack of stage time. I feel that lack of stage time affect me. So one of the biggest goals for 2023 for me is trying to get out of Montana, trying to bust out of this scene a little bit. So we'll see. This will be year 3, starting in March, I think, March or April. This will be year 3 of my comedy career. So you hear all these stories about like famous comedians, like during the pandemic, comedy stopped for 2 weeks, and they're like, this is the longest I've ever gone without comedy. And that made me feel really shitty, because I'm like, wow, I'll sometimes go 2 weeks just cause I need to figure shit out. And you just really need to, it just motivates you. You got to get your fucking ass in gear sometimes, and making excuses to not record podcasts isn't really a great way to build that career. So, really hoping you guys can see a change out of me here in the next couple weeks. I've been jobless technically all summer. I lost my furniture job in June, and I've just been doing the stage work since then. So, been kind of focusing on looking at getting a new job, finding a new job. But there's stagehands too, which is giving me free, like, it's paid all my bills and rent, and then it's giving me the freedom to just kind of fuck around and not have a real 9-to-5 job. But now that summer's coming to an end and a lot of those summer events are drawn to a close, I need to find something to supplement that time. So, but fuck, basically what's going to happen is next summer is I'm going to go back to, I'm basically going to cut my, whatever job I get, I'm going to cut it down to a day or 2 a week so I can just do stagehand work, because that stagehand work is, not only is it fun, but it pays really well. So, maybe with the job, I'll have a schedule. I'll have all this other kind of stuff going that can make me do the stuff more consistently. I took the last couple weeks off of comedy just because of writer's block. I haven't been really feeling myself. So, but I'm ready to come back. I got quite a few new jokes I'm pretty happy with that I'm at least willing to try on stage now. And we'll fuck with those, see what works, we'll dredge up some material, we'll see. But yeah, December is going to be a weird one too, because you got the Christmas shit to work around. I don't know. I feel like maybe people are going to be taking some time off for the holidays. As far as the scene goes I think you're not going to, as far as comedy goes, you're not going to see a lot of big stuff happen until spring, to be honest. So I'm taking this winter as kind of a practice time, just kind of getting my shit worked out, and then next spring, when stuff starts opening up from the winter, when travel becomes a little less dangerous, I'm gonna try to just get the fuck out of Billings for a while and do comedy and all that kind of shit. But we'll see. I mean, next year is gonna be a weird one, at least for me, because I'm going to be working a lot in town, but I'm going to be trying to get out of town. Excuse me. We'll see what happens. As far as any other like events coming up, I mean, Cameron Records changed their open mic hours to 7 instead of 8,
Which I don't necessarily agree with.
but it's not my open mic, so I prefer the 8 because that's when everything goes on, is at 8. But Cameron Mike is, we moved our hours, the winter hours, to 7. So if you're going to show up to our Cameron Records open mic, go make sure you show up at 7. Every other Wednesday, we got Red Door out there on Grand and Shiloh. And then, like I said, we have DeCava every other Friday now. And I believe Craft Local still does. They just had a big expansion, which I'm excited to see. They do an open mic every third Tuesday, and I think it's a showcase every fourth Tuesday. I could be wrong about that, but basically they pick a comedian to come up, and they pick a host to pick their favorite comedians. Not so much it's an open mic that people sign up for prematurely, and I don't know. It's an actual show, I'd say, a showcase. So, been a month or two since I was asked to do that, but I always get asked at random times to do that show, so we'll see. But go check it out. Go check out the open mic on the third Tuesday of this month. Should be staying somewhat busy with comedy, at least for the next couple months, or at least until Christmas, because they shut down the open mic before Thanksgiving because they say it gets too crazy. So, which is weird because I thought, don't you want crazy? It's a comedy show. But yeah. All right. I'm sorry, folks. I'm kind of just rambling here. This fucking ear infection is put me in a huge brain fog. I don't think it's COVID. I'm not showing any of the symptoms of COVID. I just can't hear, and then I got a fucking brain fog. I can't focus on jack diddly shit. So I apologize, folks. I might have to cut this episode a little short just because I'm having a bitch of a time focusing here. We'll try to make this a lot more consistent. Like I said, I'm disappointed in myself with how little I put into recording last month. So we'll try to amend that and just keep an eye out for some new episodes. I appreciate all your guys' support. This has been a pretty fun project for me to work on and do, and to see all your guys' feedback, support, has been very, very cool. I'm very grateful for everything. This isn't going away anytime soon. It's just going to get bigger and better from here. So thank you to all the fans out there. Like I said, make sure to check me out, some of those open mics. And I think that'll do it for this episode. Thank you, folks.